Hi students, welcome to this class. Till now, we completed 11 number of classes in the R&AC refrigeration and air conditioning. This is the 12th class. In this class, I'm going to cover the problem on the reduced ambient system, which is discussed in the last class, that is the class number 11. The reduced ambient refrigeration system, which is used for aircraft having an extra cooling turbine, that is the first cooling turbine to reduce the air from ram air to that is expanded air after cooling turbine. That expanded air after cooling turbine is utilized in the heat exchanger as a cooling medium to reduce the temperature of air coming from the main compressor, which is used for refrigeration system. By using this cooling turbine, first cooling turbine to reduce the pressure of air, the effective cooling process done in the heat exchanger and the dart temperature, that is the dry aerated temperature of the cooling turbine, second cooling turbine will be minimized when compared to the bootstrap air evaporative cooling system and remaining systems. Clear? So reduced ambient air cooling system is very similar to the working of a simple air cooling system, except the extra additional component, that is cooling turbine, which is used in the reduced ambient air cooling system. In the last class, we discussed the working of that, and in this class, I want to solve some problems on reduced ambient air cooling system. Okay, let us go for the problem on reduced ambient cooling system. In the earlier class, that is the class number 11, we discussed the working of this system, reduced ambient air cooling system. In this system, the extra component when compared to the simple system, that is, this is the first cooling turbine, which is used to reduce the pressure and temperature of air before entering into the heat exchanger. This is the cooling turbine, first cooling turbine. Clear? After reducing the pressure and temperature only, the air is utilized in the heat exchanger as a cooling medium. Clear? So let us go for the problem. This is the worked example on the reduced ambient air cooling system. The reduced ambient air refrigeration system used for an aircraft consisting of two cooling turbines, one heat exchanger and one air cooling fan. The fan is utilized to increase the airflow rate across the heat exchanger. The speed of aircraft is 1500 kilometers per hour. The speed of the aircraft is given in kilometers per hour. The ambient air conditions are given as 0.8 bar pressure and 10 degrees centigrade temperature. The ram efficiency may be taken as 90% during the ramming action of the ambient air. The rammed air is used for cooling is expanded in the cooling turbine, first cooling turbine, and leaves it at a pressure of 0.8 bar. This is pressure after the expansion in the first cooling turbine, which is equal to the ambient pressure. Again, the air is compressed in the diffuser in the aircraft. The compressed air is again reduced the pressure to initial pressure, that is the ambient pressure, 0.8 bar. The air bled from the main compressor at 6 bar. After main compressor, the pressure is 6 bar. Is cooled in the heat exchanger and leaves it at 100 degrees centigrade. The air temperature of the heat exchanger, that is the 0.4, is at 100 degrees centigrade. The cabin is to be maintained at 20 degrees centigrade. The temperature in the cabin is taken as T6 here, 20 degrees centigrade, and pressure of the cabin is 1 bar. The pressure loss between the second cooling turbine and cabin is 0.1 bar. Second cooling turbine means this is a 425- is the expansion process in the second cooling turbine. Directly the pressure at this pressure is not sending in the cabin. The cabin pressure is somewhat reduced to the 1 bar. After expansion, the pressure is 1.1 bar. the 0.1 bar is reducing, the pressure loss is taking place in that during the cabin, during the passing through the cabin, that pressure of cabin is maintained at 1 bar. So 1.1 minus 0.1, we will get the pressure of cabin is 1 bar. If the isentropic efficiency for the main compressor and both the cooling turbines are 85% and 80% respectively, both the compressor having the 85% and cooling turbines 80%. Clear? The isentropic efficiency for the main compressor having 85 and both the turbines are 80%. Find the mass flow rate of air supplied to the cabin to take the load of 10 tons of refrigeration. The cooling load in the cabin is to be maintained at cooling load in the cabin is 10 tons of refrigeration. And the quantity of air passing through the heat exchanger, if the temperature rise of air, RAM air is limited to 80 Kelvin. This is the quantity of air which is utilizing in the heat exchanger as a cooling medium. If the temperature rise of RAM air is limited to 80 Kelvin, 80 Kelvin temperature is rising in the heat exchanger. Power used to drive the cooling fan, the power is required to run the fan and COP of the system. These are the 4 parameters which are going to find in this example 1. Clear? This is the given TS diagram for the reduced ambient system. TS diagram for the given reduced ambient system. 1 to 2 is the actual compressor, that is isentropic compression in the ramming action. This is in the diffuser. Due to inefficiency of the diffuser having the 90% efficiency, the actual process will be taking place. The actual air temperature is at exit of the diffuser is 2 dash. Clear? T2 dash. From there itself, the compression process will be taking place in the main compressor. The compressor having only 85%, that is the compressor having only 85% efficiency. That's why you have to consider the actual process, that is 2 dash to 3 dash. Clear? From there, the air is cooled in the heat exchanger by using the reduced air coming from the first cooling turbine. Then after, the air is expanded in the second cooling turbine. Due to its inefficiency, the actual process is to be taken up to 5 dash. This is the actual expansion process in the second cooling turbine. From there, after expansion, the pressure is at 1.1 bar because the cabin is to be maintained at 1 bar. But before cabin, the air is during this process in the cabin, the pressure is reducing. Pressure loss will be taking place at pressure losses will be taking place of 0.1 bar. 0.1 bar is the pressure loss in the cabin. So pressure in the cabin, we know that 1 bar, and 1 plus 0.1, we will get the pressure before the cabin is 1.1 bar. From 0.5 to 6, the pressure will be losing, that is 0.1 bar to 1 bar. Therefore, the pressure loss is 0.1 bar. Clear? So like that, you have to assume the pressure after expansion is 1.1 bar by the given data. This is a given data. V equal to 1500 kilometers per hour. If we convert into meters per second, 417 meters per second. This is the velocity of aircraft or velocity of air with which the air is entering into the aircraft. Both are same, relatively 417 meters per second. Ambient conditions, these are ambient conditions, P1 and T1, and efficiency, RAM efficiency 90%. Pressure after main compressor is 6 bar. Temperature after the heat exchanger is 100 degrees centigrade. Temperature of the cabin is to be maintained at 293 kelvins, and cabin pressure is 1 bar. Efficiency of the compressors 85%, and efficiency of both the turbines are 85, not 80% here. Compressor efficiency 85, turbine efficiencies are 80%, and cooling load in the cabin is 10 ton of refrigeration. Clear that? After writing the data, we have to find the temperature and pressures at each point. First of all, starting from 2 or 2 dash, both are same here, but pressure is different due to inefficiency of the diffuser. The pressure will be lost in the diffuser during passing through the diffuser. Clear? So from this T2 dash by T1 or T2 by T1, let us write the T2 by T1 or T2 dash by T1. We have to find the T2 dash. How to find the T2 dash or T2? By applying the energy equations. By applying the energy equation between 1 and 2, T2 dash or T2 can be written as this equation, T1 plus V square by 2000 into Cp. It is derived in the first class itself. 283 is the temperature before entering to the cabin, ambient temperature. Velocity of the aircraft is 417 into specific heat is taken as 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. The temperature after compression in the diffuser, that is due to ramming action, the ram air temperature is 370 kelvins. From this temperature, it is increasing the pressure and temperature in the main compressor. For the isentropic ramming process of 1 to 2, P2 by P1 is equal to T2 by T1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma is the adiabatic rule by applying the between 1 and 2. So P2 by P1 we will get 2.57. P2 value, the pressure after isentropic compression is 2.06 bars. Clear? P1 into 2.57, we will get 2.06 bars is the pressure after isentropic compression. This is the P2, 2.06. Clear? Then we know that the ram efficiency. How to find the P2 dash, that the pressure at point 2 dash by using the ram efficiency. Actual rise in pressure by isentropic rise in pressure. This is the actual rise in pressure divided by isentropic rise in pressure. Actual rise in pressure means P2 dash minus P1 divided by P2 minus P1 is in terms of pressures. If you write in terms of pressures, this is the formula for the efficiency, ram efficiency. So ram efficiency is given as 90%. P2 dash is the pressure of the actual compression in the diffuser. P1 is 0.8, which is calculated, which is given in the ambient air pressure is 0.8. P2 is 2.06 bars. Then on substitution of all the parameters, how much the P2 dash? P2 dash is 1.93 bar. We will get the pressure after actual compression in the diffuser, 1.93 pressure. From this pressure, the air is compressed in the main compressor. This ram pressure, this air is some of the air from at this pressure will be diverted towards the heat exchanger, and the sum of the air from this pressure is sent to the main compressor. Clear? From that P2 dash, already explained that after ramming action, this is the P2 dash pressure in the aircraft, that is the ram air pressure P2 dash. Some of the air will be diverted towards the cooling turbine and heat exchanger. Some of the air will be entered into the main compressor. From there, the air is compressed and it is cooled by using the air taken towards the first cooling turbine. ఈ air యూజ్ చేసుకుని ఇక్కడ నుండి వచ్చే air ని కూల్ చేస్తాము. బికాస్ ఈ కంప్రెస్ చేసిన ఎయిర్ కి ఈ ఎయిర్ కంటే ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేసిన ఎయిర్ కంటే ఎక్కువ టెంపరేచర్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ టెంపరేచర్ ని రెడ్యూస్ చేయడం కొరకు ఒక హీట్ ఎక్స్చేంజర్ ని వాడుకుంటాం. క్లియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్? దిస్ హీట్ ఎక్స్చేంజర్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ టు రెడ్యూస్ ద టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ కంప్రెస్డ్ ఎయిర్ ఇన్ ద మెయిన్ కంప్రెసర్, which is using the cooling medium in this heat exchanger is the air, ram air, which is reduced by this cooling turbine. Clear? So some amount of air towards the cooling turbine, some amount of air goes to the main compressor. 1.93 is the pressure. The TS diagram for the expansion of ram air. This is the TS diagram for the expansion in the first cooling turbine. Ram air ni man cool expand chestam first cooling turbine lo. Ram air in the first cooling turbine is shown in the figure. The vertical line 2 dash, this is the condition of air after compressing ram compression. From 2 dash to 1 dash is the isentropic expansion in the first cooling turbine. 2 dash to 2 double dash is the actual expansion in the first cooling turbine process. And the curve 2 dash to 2 double dash is that represents the actual expansion process. Clear? Now, for the isentropic expansion process 2 dash to 1 dash, T2 dash by T1 dash is equal to P2 dash by P1 dash whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. P2 dash is the pressure at actual compression in the ramming action. During the ramming action, 1.93 is calculated earlier here. 1.93 is the pressure. And the P1 dash is after expansion, the pressure in the cooling turbine is 0.8 bar. This is equal to ambient pressure. So 0.8, upon substitution of the pressure and gamma value, we will get the ratio across the first cooling turbine is 1.284. This is the ratio of temperature across the first cooling turbine. From this equation, T1 dash, how to get the T1 dash? T1 dash is equal to T2 dash divided by 1.284. T2 dash is the pressure as calculated, temperature as calculated as T2 dash 370 kelvins. That is 370 by 1.284. We will get 288 kelvins. This is the temperature. After the isentropic expansion, the first cooling turbine. By using this temperature, we can calculate the temperature of air after cooling turbine, first cooling turbine. Because this temperature is required to calculate the, to assume the cooling process in the first heat exchanger. So after getting this temperature, we can utilize this temperature to calculate the temperature of the heat exchanger after the heat exchanger. Isentropic efficiency of the first cooling turbine during this process. Actual drop in temperature, this is the actual drop in temperature divided by isentropic drop in temperature. T2 dash minus T2 double dash by T2 dash minus T1 dash. This turbine efficiency is also 80%. 0.8 is equal to T2 dash value is to 370 kelvins. T2 dash is 370. T2 double dash is unknown parameter. T1 dash is 288 kelvins. So upon substitution of all the parameters, we will get T2 double dash as 304 kelvins. So this air temperature, the air at this temperature is utilized as a cooling medium in the first heat exchanger. For the isentropic compression process 2 dash to 3, for actual TS diagram, from this 2 dash to 3 is the sum of the air is compressed in the main compressor. The air temperature, the remaining amount air temperature is to find like this: 2,3 by 2 to T2 dash is equal to P3 by P2 dash whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. 6 by 1.93 is the pressure. After substitution of gamma and P3 P2 dash value, we will get 1.38 is the factor. So from this T3 equal to T2 dash into 1.38. T2 dash value is 370 kelvins calculated earlier. This is 370 kelvins into 1.38. So 511 is the temperature. 511 Kelvin is the temperature after the isentropic in the main compressor. Isentropic compression in the main compressor. After getting the temperature in during isentropic process, to find the temperature of air during actual process by using compressor efficiency. Isentropic in temperature by actual increase in temperature. This is the isentropic increase in temperature divided by actual temperature increase. That is T3 minus T2 dash by T3 dash minus T2 dash. This is the temperature equation. So in this T3 value 511 kelvins, T2 dash is 370 kelvins. The only unknown parameter is T3 dash. So T3 dash value is 536 kelvins. Temperature it exits from the line. The pressure of the plus 0.1 the total, that is the total pressure before 0.1 bar. So now aerobic expansion of air in the cooling turbine process 4-5. After getting T3 dash, the temperature at T4 is also given in the problem as 100 degrees centigrade. Using this T4, we can find the T5 and T5 dash. So how to find the T5? T4 by T5 equal to P4 by P5 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. P5 is 1.1 bar, P4 is 6 bar. So T4 by T5 formula, we will get 1.62. From this T5 is equal to T4 by 1.62. T4 value 373, that is 100 degrees centigrade is given in the problem. So we will get 230 kelvins. That is the P5 after expansion, the second cooling turbine temperature of air this is. By using this temperature, we can find the T5 dash, that is actual air temperature after expansion by using isentropic efficiency of the second cooling turbine. Actual increase, not increase, it is actual decrease in temperature by isentropic decrease in temperature drop. Actual temperature drop divided by isentropic temperature drop. T4 minus T5 dash by T4 by minus T5. This is, I will explain again from the TS diagram. T4 minus T5 dash divided by T4 minus T5 is the formula for isentropic efficiency. In this T5 only the unknown parameter T5 dash. By using this equation, we can find the temperature after actual expansion. The second cooling turbine is 258.6 kelvins. Sorry, 258.6 kelvins. Clear? These are the temperatures at each point of the cycle. After getting the temperatures, we can proceed to find the remaining parameters. That is mass flow rate of air supplied to cabin. How much air is supplied to the cabin? As earlier we said that this is a formula to get the mass flow rate. Mass flow rate of air equal to refrigeration load or cooling load in the cabin divided by the critical refrigeration load per unit mass. So 210 into Q divided by Cp into T6 minus T5 dash. This is the temperature increase across the cabin. Clear? So from this 210 into 10 tons of refrigeration is the cooling cabin divided by 1 into 293 is the T6 cabin temperature minus dash is 258.6 kelvins. Then we will get the mass flow rate required. That is the mass of air required in the cabin per every minute is 61 kgs. Clear, students? So quantity of ram air passing through the heat exchanger. What this means? The second bit is the amount of air which is extracted from the aircraft which is utilizing the heat exchanger. This compressed air is passing through the cabin. This is already calculated in the first parameter, first bit. And remaining amount which is extracted from the cabin, from the craft, how much air is extracting and expanding the craft, expanding the air. That is asked in the second bit. The quantity of air which is extracted from the craft and which is expanded in the first cooling turbine and utilized in the heat exchanger. That is the second bit. Quantity of ram air passing to the heat exchanger. Let MR is the quantity of ram air passing to the heat exchanger. The compressed air bled off at temperature T3 dash. This is the temperature of air after the main compressor, 536 kelvins, T3 dash, is cooled in the heat exchanger to a temperature of T4, 373 kelvins, by the ram air from the first cooling turbine at temperature 304 kelvins. At this temperature, the air is utilizing as a cooling medium. The temperature rise in the ram air in the heat exchanger is limited to 80 kelvins. This is given in the problem. This T2 double dash is raised by 80 kelvins. Raised by 80 kelvins. That means after the heat exchanger, the ram air temperature increases from 304 to 384. That means consider the perfect heat transfer in the heat exchanger. Amount of heat absorbed by this ram air to rise from 304 Kelvin to 384 kelvins. This is the amount of heat absorbed by the ram air, which is equal to amount of heat rejected by the compressed air, which is reduced the temperature from 536 Kelvin to 373 kelvins. Therefore, the compressed air is MA, ram air is MR. So MA into Cp into temperature drop, that is T3 dash minus T4, is equal to MR, mass of air, that is ram air, into Cp into temperature rise, that is 384 minus 304. Clear? 304 kelvins air will be rises to 384 because the heat temperature rise of ram air in the heat exchanger is limited to 80 kelvins, means 80 kelvins will be rising. So 384 is the final temperature. That is the ram air temperature, final temperature of the heat exchanger is 384, before is 304. So temperature rises 384 minus 304 means 80 kelvins itself. So by applying this heat balance equation, MR into Cp into 80, that is 384 minus 304, 80, equal to MA into Cp into T3 dash minus T4. This is the temperature rise across the heat exchanger by the compressed air. temperature drop in the heat exchanger by the compressed air. This is the temperature rise of the ram air in the heat exchanger. So by applying the heat balance equation in the heat exchanger, by assuming it's a perfect heat exchanger, MR into 1 into 80, 1 is the CP of air, 61 is the mass of air which is extracted or which is compressed in the main compressor. 1 is again CP, T3 dash is 536 minus 373. This is 9943, this value, this total value. Therefore, MR is equal to 9943 divided by 80. That is 124.3 kgs of air, which is extracted, the ram air, which is utilized as a cooling medium in the heat exchanger for every minute. Then third bit is power used to drive the cooling fan. Here, cooling fan is run by the two turbines by the gear mechanism. That means the power supplied to the fan is equal to the work produced by the first cooling turbine and work produced by the second cooling turbine per minute. So power used to drive the cooling fan is power producing by the first and second cooling turbine. Summation of these two only, the power is utilized to run the fan. So work required or work produced by the first cooling turbine is mass of air passing through the first cooling turbine is ram air into specific heat into amount temperature rise across the temperature drop across the first cooling turbine. How much it is? First cooling turbine from 2 dash to 2 double dash, T2 dash by T2 dash minus T2 double dash. That is the T2 dash minus T2 double dash. Upon substitution of all the parameters, we will get the work produced by the first cooling turbine is 8204 kilojoules per minute in terms of minutes, kilojoules per minute. And work output from the second cooling turbine is in the second cooling turbine, the air entering into the second cooling turbine is not MR, which is MA. This is mass of air compressed or mass of air passing through the cabin and mass of air passing through the second cooling turbine, all are equal. So MA into CP into temperature drop across the second cooling turbine T4 to T5 dash. So we will get the work produced by the second cooling turbine is 6978 kilojoules per minute. This is the work produced by the second cooling turbine. This is the work produced by the first cooling turbine. Both works are utilized to run the cooling fan in the system. Therefore, total work output from the turbines is 8204 plus 6978, total 15,182 kilojoules per every minute, which is producing. This much of work is utilized to drive the fan. Therefore, 15,182 divided by 60 to convert in seconds, then we will get 253 kilowatts. This much of power is utilizing by the fan. Okay. Then COP of the system is, we know that the COP of system is refrigeration effect by work input. Refrigeration effect is 210 into Q is the refrigeration load in tons. MA into CP into T3 dash minus T2 dash is the work given to the compressor. Okay, so 210 into 10 divided by 61 into 1 into 536 minus 370. We will get 0.21 as COP. COP of the given reduced ambient system is 0.21. These are the four parameters in this problem we found. Clear students? This is the very lengthy problem. You have to understand the first system. If you understand this system, then only we can solve the problem. Clear? Then second system, I will explain the last system in this class. Last system is regenerative air cooling system. By explaining this regenerative air cooling system, I will close this class. Okay. So regenerative air cooling system, in regenerative air cooling, regeneration means you already studied in the gas turbines. Regeneration process is the exhaust gases which comes from the turbine, gas turbine, which again utilized to increase the temperature of air. Again, it is used to increase the temperature of air which is taken from the atmosphere. That's why in that case, the gas, the air temperature rises in gas turbines. That is called the preheating. That is preheating of atmosphere air before entering into the chimney. Due to that, we reducing the heat input. Heat input can be reduced by regeneration process. Heat input can be reduced, therefore the efficiency of the plant is also increases by regenerative process. In that case, in refrigeration case also, regenerative process will be taken. Regenerative process means the air extracted, that is expanded in the second cooling turbine, again is utilized to decrease the temperature of air. That air extracted after the cooling turbine will be diverted. Some air is diverted towards the heat exchanger and some amount of air only sent to the cabin. So amount of air sent to the cabin will be reduced in this case, but it is compensated by reducing the temperature. The amount of air will be reduced. This much of air is compensated by reducing the temperature. Therefore, the cooling load is similar. Cooling load is similar as that of the remaining systems. Clear? I will explain one by one. First, the ambient air entered into the aircraft, similar to the remaining system. After entering the air, that converted into the ram air due to the ramming action. This small amount of rise in pressure in diffuser, some amount of air, ram air will be diverted towards the heat exchanger and then atmosphere, and the remaining amount will be sent to the main compressor. In that main compressor, the air is compressed. The compressed air, out of this compressed air, some amount of air again diverted towards this heat exchanger and second heat exchanger and cooling turbine, then cabin, and the remaining amount will be sent to the combustion chamber, then gas turbine, then nozzle, which will be exhausted towards the atmosphere to produce the thrust to this aircraft. Okay. Here, the ram air utilizing and the first heat exchanger, the air is cooled, first of all. This cooled air again sent to the second heat exchanger, that is called the regenerative heat exchanger. In this regenerative heat exchanger, cooling medium is not ram air. This cooling medium is taken from the cooling turbine. That is, some amount of air bled after the expansion in the cooling turbine. That blended air, that is extracted air, will be utilized as a cooling medium in the regenerative heat exchanger. Because this expanded air having the low temperature, this low temperature air is utilized as a cooling medium in this regenerative heat exchanger. Therefore, the cooling process is further cooling process will be takes place in the regenerative heat exchanger. That is, cooling is in two stages. Cooling occurs in the system in two stages. Clear? And the second, bootstrap system is also having two heat exchangers. But in bootstrap system, in both heat exchangers, the cooling medium is ram air itself. Some amount of air is utilized in the first heat exchanger. Some amount of ram air is sent to the second heat exchanger in the bootstrap system. But in this case, we are not using the ram air in the second heat exchanger, regenerative heat exchanger. In this, the cooling medium is taken from the air expanded from the cooling turbine. Okay, this is only the difference. To cool in this two stages. The air is cooled in the two stages, but in the first cooling heat exchanger, the cooling medium is ram air. Second heat exchanger, the cooling medium is cooled air, that is expanded air from the cooling turbine. Okay, after cooling, after extracting the heat, that is absorbing the heat, the air, the regenerative air is sent to the atmosphere, and the air, ram air, which is by absorbing the heat, after absorbing the heat from the heat exchanger, the air is also sent to the atmosphere. In this, the fan is utilized to extract the heat from the first heat exchanger. Clear? For effective cooling process. This fan is run by the cooling turbine. The work produced by the cooling turbine is utilized to run this cooling air fan. Clear? This is the regeneration means. Here, the air is again utilized in this regenerative heat exchanger. Some amount of air is recycled or regenerative. Regeneration process will be taking place. Again, we are utilizing the air after expansion. Clear? In this regenerative air cooling system, shown in figure. It is modification of simple air cooling system with an addition of regenerative heat exchanger. If it is not there, regenerative heat exchanger is not there, it is very similar to the simple air cooling system. Okay, if the ram air utilized in the second heat exchanger is very similar to the bootstrap system. We are not using the air. If you're not using the air, this is a regenerative air. It is very similar to the bootstrap system. Okay. The high pressure and high temperature air from the main compressor, this is the main compressor air, is first cooled by the ram air in the first heat exchanger. Okay, this air is further cooled in the regenerative heat exchanger with a portion of air bled off or bled after expansion in the cooling turbine. What it means? This air is further cooled in this regenerative heat exchanger by bled off the air from the cooling turbine. This type of cooling system is used for supersonic aircrafts and rockets. Okay. High speed, that is supersonic. We have three types of velocities: subsonic velocity, sonic velocity, supersonic velocity, and also hypersonic velocities is also there. Subsonic means Mach number is less than 1. Sonic means Mach number is equal to 1. Supersonic means Mach number is greater than 1. And hypersonic means Mach number is greater than 4. If the Mach number is greater than 4, that velocity is called the hypersonic velocity. This system is used for supersonic aircrafts and rocket engines. TS diagram 1 to 2 dash is similar to the previous systems. It is the ram compression. 2 dash to 3 or 2 dash to 3 dash is the compression in the main compressor, as earlier said in the previous systems. 3 dash to 4 is the cooling process at constant pressure in the first heat exchanger. Then further cooling process will be taking place from 4 to 5. This is the second cooling process at constant pressure in the regenerative heat exchanger. After regenerative heat exchanger, the air is expanded in the cooling turbine. 5 to 6 is the isentropic and 5 to 6 dash is the actual expansion in the cooling turbine. From this condition of air, the air is sent to the cabin. Some amount of air is diverted to cool the air, and some amount of air is utilized to produce the cooling effect in the cabin. This is 6 dash to 7 is the refrigeration effect in the cabin. The 7 is the cabin is to be maintained at this temperature. This is the TS diagram. I explained every process here. 1, 2 is the isentropic ramming. 1 to 2 dash is represents actual ramming action because of irreversibility. 2 dash to 3 is isentropic compression, main compressor, and 2 dash to 3 dash is the represents the actual compression in the air because of internal friction due to irreversibilities in the compressor. 3 dash to 4 is the represents cooling of compressed air by ram air in the heat exchanger 1. The process 4 to 5 represents the cooling of air in the regenerative heat exchanger. This is a 4 to 5 is the cooling. This is also cooling, but it is occurs in first heat exchanger. This is occurs in the second heat exchanger, that is regenerative heat exchanger. From 5 to 6 is the isentropic expansion in the air, cooling turbine law, and 5 to 6 dash is the actual expansion air in the cooling turbine. And 6 dash to 7 represents the heating of air up to cabin temperature T7. Okay, the formulas are very similar. If Q tons of refrigeration is the cooling load in the cabin, then the quantity of air required for the regeneration process will be 210 into Q into Cp into T7 minus T6 is the temperature rise across the cabin. This is the mass of air. But here, Ma is the mass of air passing through the cabin itself. It is not passing to the compressor, because the air which is passing to the compressed air is not equal to the air passing to the cabin. That is not totally sent to the cabin. Some amount of air is diverting towards the regenerative. So yeah, Ma is the mass of air passing to the cabin. M1 is the total amount of air which is sent by the compressor. Out of this M1, M2 amount of air is diverting towards the heat exchanger. M2 amount of air is diverting to the heat exchanger, and the Ma is the mass of air to the cabin. So M1 equal to Ma plus M2. We can write it M1 equal to Ma plus M2. This is M1, total mass of air bled off from the main compressor. M2 is mass of cold air bled off from the cooling turbine for the regenerative heat exchanger. So MA plus M2 can be written as M1. For the energy balance regenerative heat exchanger, M2 Cp T8 minus T6 dash. T8 is what is T8? Temperature rise of bled off air. M2 is the mass of bled off air. Cp is the specific heat. That means this is the heat absorbed by the air, that is regenerative air. Yeah. This air is sent to the heat exchanger. What occurs in this heat exchanger? The heat is absorbing by this air. ఈ ఎయిర్ హీట్ అబ్జార్బ్ చేస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ పాస్ చేసే ఎయిర్, ఇక్కడ పాస్ చేసే ఎయిర్ హీట్ లాస్ అవుతుంది. సో హీట్ లాస్ బై దిస్ ఎయిర్ is equal to heat gained by this air. This air will be sent to the atmosphere. Assume this temperature, this point as 8. If this temperature is T8, temperature rise is T8 minus T6 dash. Okay, like this we have to heat balance across the regenerative heat exchanger. M2 into Cp into T8 minus T6 dash is equal to M1 into Cp into T4 minus T5. From this we can find M2 mass of cold air bled from the cooling turbine. Clear, students? And remaining power required is similar to the remaining system. M1 is the mass of air passing to the compressor. T3 dash minus T2 dash is the temperature rise across the compressor. Then we can find this is power required. And then COP is refrigeration effect divided by power required. Then we will get the COP. Okay, students, I will close this class at this time. In the next class, I will discuss about the work example on this regenerative heat exchanger. Okay, bye.